And you can see Joe and Roger's garden in person on the Garden Conservancy Tour this November. Visiting local gardens is a fantastic way to gather design ideas and how-to tips from our neighbors. Today, we welcome Sarah Yant and Bethany Broussard from Twistleaf Land Design for a preview of this year's Travis County Open Days Tours. Sarah and Bethany, how are you doing today?
Fine, thank
Good morning,
you.
John.
Wonderful. So first off, what is the Garden Conservancy?
The Garden Conservancy is a national nonprofit that celebrates and shares unique private gardens across the U.S. And we've been excited to volunteer as their regional ambassador for the last 2 years.
And I got to note, the Garden Conservancy tour was held in, 1998? And
That's right.
Central Texas Gardener was there. We've been involved since the beginning. Bethany, what is the Open Days Tour, and when is it this year?
Open Days is a national garden visitation program that allows folks a rare chance to see beautiful private gardens and the opportunity to meet the designers and the gardeners behind them.
This year's Open Day Tour will actually be held on Saturday, November 8th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we've curated 5 exceptional gardens across Central Austin for the tour this year. It's a one-day self-guided tour, and you can visit as many of the gardens as you'd like to. We encourage people to see them all.
The first, we've got Belmont Parkway. Tell us a little bit about this one.
Yeah, Belmont Parkway is a gorgeous modern woodland garden designed by landscape architecture firm Studio Balcones.
Oh, yeah.
This garden is really the perfect blend of structure and wildness. It's nestled in a wooded hillside overlooking Shoal Creek with native grasses and perennials like little bluestem, fragrant mistflower, and Mexican bush sage that really shine in the fall. There's also an herb garden and a dipping pool with an incredible view. This particular garden was planted in about 2018.
About 2018,
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple of years. So I assume with these, are most of the gardens a few years along, or they're new, or is there just sort of a mix
There's
of
a
some
great
of these?
mix. Yeah, there's a great mix of ages of gardens on the tour.
Before we look at the next one, I think it's really key that we talk about this. How in the world do people go about getting tickets?
You can buy tickets at gardenconservancy.org. Tickets are on sale now, and they're $5 per garden for Garden Conservancy members and $10 per garden for non-members.
There's a chance that some of these might sell out, right?
That is true. So if one of the gardens is sold out, you can add your name to the wait list.
Next, we're going to be looking at Este Garden, and this is one that we featured here on Central Texas Gardener.
Este Garden was founded in 2020, and it's run by farmer Ana Maria Gutierrez. They use holistic practices like low-till farming and cover cropping and supply local restaurants with fresh produce. Este Garden cultivates thousands of pounds of organic veggies, herbs, and flowers year-round. This garden is a really powerful example of how gardens can serve both the community around them and fine cuisine, too.
It sounds like you all have a really good mix of different types of gardens. It's not just formal gardens. It seems like this one's really emphasis on community and productivity.
That's right. That was one of the goals of our tours, to offer attendees several different types of gardens to visit, from designers and architectural gardens and to urban farms and gardens by the homeowner as well.
Let me tell you something. I'm definitely not the most advanced food gardener here in Texas. It's difficult. They'll have some really great tips on how you go about planting some of these crops, right? Which would be helpful for folks.
Absolutely.
The next one we're going to be looking at is the Artist Eclectic Eden in South Central Austin. What are we looking at there?
In this garden, you're going to find a lush, Bolden neighborhood space designed and built entirely by the homeowner, Steve Twigger. Steve started this garden in 2004 and was able to do all of this work himself. This garden has a surprising evergreen tropical vibe and also so much creative charm. This is the most established garden on our tour.
Okay.
So it's going to show attendees what's possible over time with vision and a lot of patience and a deep-rooted love for plants. So I think attendees are going to find inspiration here, and our hope is that they leave feeling empowered to take on gardening and even hardscape projects at their own homes.
You know, you see renderings, or you see the intention there, and you know, it's sort of like planting a tree. It's going to take a few years to get there. I assume he'll hopefully talk about some site preparation and what it takes to sort of get there, not just here it is.
Yes, Steve Twigger has actually documented his whole journey from start to finish and has photos and is going to blow up posters for attendees to look at.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a great source of information.
That sounds amazing. Well, I'm looking forward to that one. Now we're going to head a little bit west of Austin, and we're going to Canyon Vista. What about this one?
John Hart, Canyon Vista is the work of Heather Lyle with Native Knowledge Landscape Consulting. And over the last 10 years, Heather has created a flourishing 5-acre wildlife sanctuary at her residence in Westlake Hills. What began as a barren, rocky slope is now a thriving ecosystem that takes advantage of big, beautiful canyon views. And some of my favorite fall plants that will be in bloom or in berry during November are American Beautyberry, Cowpen Daisy, and Plateau Goldeneye.
Excellent. Well, this sounds really exciting because I think so many people, especially people transplants in this region, think that the soil, they'll hear the soils are terrible, you're not going to be able to grow anything unless you import a lot of topsoil. And this sounds like just a wonderful opportunity to understand that's just not the case. It's right plants, right place, and working with the soils, you can really have a diverse planting of native species. Final one here, we've got Pollinators Paradise. This video was shot in May, and visitors will be able to see it in its full fall glory.
Pollinators Paradise has such a cool origin story, and we've really fallen in love with the space. This is the youngest garden on our tour, but we don't think attendees are going to be able to tell when they're there. It's a really dynamic space that changes, and every time you visit, you'll discover something new, which speaks to Leah Cherner and her team's ongoing maintenance of this place.
And what is sort of the design intent or concept here with this one?
I think the overall goal was to have a community space and a space for pollinators to live. Some of the fall features that you're going to see are big muley grasses and frog fruit, which is a lovely ground cover, and purple coneflower. You can learn a lot about native plants and about pollinator, attractive plants.
That's a great another point too, is the maintenance plants, because people tend to think of that as a janitorial endeavor, boring. But that's really how we sustain our gardens, and that's a key point. So I think that's going to be great for folks to be able to interact with the designers there. Well, once more, where are we getting tickets?
GardenConservancy.org, and again, the tour is on Saturday, November 8th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tickets are $5 for each garden for members of the Garden Conservancy and $10 per garden for non-members. So you can also join as a member of the Garden Conservancy at GardenConservancy.org. And again, you can sign up on the wait list if one of the gardens is sold out.
Thank you, Sarah and Bethany. I think this really sounds exciting, and we're going to see a whole bunch of gardens that really people sort of pick their flavor and really understand what it takes to create a beautiful, holistic space right here in Central Texas.